God created everything on Earth, endowing the world with hidden wonders in every detail of nature. Amid the deepest forests, scorching deserts, mysterious rivers, and even the highest cliffs, we find true winged architects, birds that build homes that seem to defy human logic. From floating palaces to clay fortresses, each bird's nest is more than just a shelter. It is a masterpiece of beauty, survival, and intelligence, a reflection of divine perfection. 20 bird nests so extraordinary they seem to have been shaped by the hands of God himself, like scenes from a science fiction movie. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Now, let's get started. Number 20, the sociable weaver's nest. Imagine an entire city suspended high in a tree right in the heart of the desert. That's exactly what this small bird from South Africa, particularly the Kalahari Desert, constructs. With a discreet appearance, it builds one of the largest communal nests in the animal kingdom. Some nests measure over 4 meters wide and weigh up to 500 kilos. From the outside, they look like giant thatched cabins hanging from sturdy trees like acacias and even from power poles. Inside this superstructure live up to 100 pairs, each with its own chamber accessed through narrow tunnels 10 to 15 centimeter wide. The design is so smart that central chambers stay warm during the cold desert nights, while outer chambers serve as cool shelters against the sweltering daytime heat. The nest is made from twigs and dry grass, requiring weeks of collective work, often spanning generations. And that was just the beginning of our list. If you were already impressed by nest number 20, get ready. What comes next will leave you even more amazed. Number 19, the Bahia Weaver's Nest. Native to southern and southeastern Asia, the Bahia Weaver is a living gem of natural engineering. This bright yellow bird constructs hanging nests that look like handmade woven straw bags. And the technique is breathtaking. The male uses long leaves, palm fibers, dry grass, and even strips of plastic collected from urban areas. The result is a droplet-shaped structure 30 to 60 centimeters long with a hanging entrance tunnel, almost always above water, a strategy to keep predators like snakes and lizards away. Inside is a cozy chamber where the female lays her eggs. Here's the most curious part. The nest is also a courtship tool. The male can take up to 18 days to weave his creation, singing non-stop to attract a mate. If she doesn't approve, he abandons everything and starts over from scratch. In a single season, some males build up to 25 nests. Number 18, the Montezuma oropendola's nest. In the humid tropical forests of Central America, an aerial spectacle captures attention. These are the hanging nests of the Montezuma oropendola, birds with black plumage contrasted by bright yellow and a long ivory beak. They transform entire trees into suspended galleries, with over 100 nests swaying side by side. Each female weaves her bag-shaped nest, which can measure between 60 centimeter and 1.8 meter in length, hanging like exotic lanterns among the branches. The material, plant fibers, dried roots, and fine stems, is interlaced with precision. The most surprising aspect is the location choice. Often they prefer trees inhabited by large wasps. The reason is simple and ingenious. The insects act as involuntary guardians, keeping predators like snakes away. Number 17, the African hammercop's dome. Imagine a nest so solid and imposing it could, in theory, support the weight of an adult human. This is not hyperbole. It is the extraordinary reality of the African hammercop, Scopus umbretta, an eccentric and unique bird from Africa. Also known as the hammerhead due to the shape of its head and crest, the hammercop is small in body size, about 50 centimeter long, but colossal in construction ability. From the outside, its nest may look like a rough dome of twigs and mud, but on closer inspection it reveals an architectural fortress worthy of admiration. These monumental structures can reach 1.5 meters in diameter, easily weigh over 20 kilograms, and contain up to 8,000 intertwined sticks, not counting mud, grass, and other materials used as natural cement. Few birds in the world dedicate so much effort to building something so complex and long-lasting. The nests are usually built in large trees near rivers, ponds, or swamps. The hammercop's preferred habitats. Some are built on cliffs or even human structures, as long as water is nearby. The entrance is cleverly camouflaged among branches, leading to a narrow tunnel about 60-some meters long that opens into a surprisingly spacious central chamber, cool during the sweltering African summer, dry during heavy rains, and virtually impenetrable to predators. It is no exaggeration to say that the hammerkop's nest is a true masterpiece of natural engineering. Its durability allows it to last for years, being reused, expanded, and reinforced constantly. Other animals like owls, snakes, and even small mammals often occupy abandoned nests, benefiting from the nest's sturdy construction. In this way, hammerkops indirectly contribute to the ecosystem by providing shelter for various species. What is most intriguing is that construction continues even outside the breeding season. Pairs of hammerkops keep renovating, reinforcing, and expanding their nests as if in a constant ritual. Scholars interpret this behavior in various ways, as a bonding gesture between mates, marking territory, demonstrating strength and persistence to others, or as an innate, almost compulsive instinct that cannot be interrupted. Whatever the reason, few birds show such dedication to their craft. Culturally, the hammerkop holds a special place in popular imagination. In many African regions, it is considered a bird of omens and legends. Some traditions believe that destroying a hammerkop nest can bring bad luck or personal misfortune, symbolizing persistence, order, and construction. Other myths associate it with rain, fertility, and community life. Its image appears in proverbs, stories, and even ceremonies. Despite its obsessive building behavior, the hammerkop leads a relatively discreet life. It feeds mainly on small fish, amphibians, aquatic insects, and crustaceans, captured in shallow waters with patient hunting techniques. It lives in pairs or small groups, always near wetlands. Its flight is peculiar, slow and wide-winged, and its call, a sharp laugh, echoes like an unmistakable signature. Thus, the hammerkop stands out not only for its exotic appearance, but also for its dual role in nature: a discreet predator of aquatic environments and an tireless architect, erecting twig fortresses that defy time. Its giant nests, visible from a distance, are living markers of the African landscape, reminding us that even among birds, there are builders capable of almost unbelievable feats. In summary, the African hammerkop's dome is much more than a shelter. It is a declaration of persistence, ingenuity, and partnership, a living monument built by a bird that has become a symbol of resilience and mystery. In the presence of one of these natural fortresses, the observer can only admire the creative power of wildlife, capable of transforming simple twigs and mud into a work of architecture worthy of respect. Number 16, the Australian mound builder's living volcano. In the dry forests of Australia, this shy, round bird breaks all known rules of avian reproduction. Unlike most birds, it does not incubate its eggs with its own body. Instead, the male builds a natural oven. He digs a large hole in the ground, fills it with leaves, twigs, and bark, and then covers it with sand, creating a mound up to 60 centimeters high. As the organic matter decomposes, it releases enough heat to incubate the eggs. The female can lay anywhere from 2 to 30 eggs, and the male becomes a living thermometer, using his beak and feet to measure the temperature and adjust the mound, adding or removing soil as needed. When the chicks hatch, they dig their way to the surface and emerge fully independent, already able to fly from the very first minute. Number 15, the floating nest of the African jacana. In the calm lakes and lush swamps of sub-Saharan Africa, where water lilies and aquatic plants form green carpets on the surface, lives a bird that defies expectations. Commonly known as the Jesus bird, the African jacana, Actophalornis africanus, earned this curious nickname due to its incredible ability to walk on aquatic vegetation, seemingly gliding over the water without sinking. Its disproportionately large feet, equipped with long, slender toes, function as natural rackets, distributing its weight and allowing it to move lightly where other birds would inevitably sink. But this miraculous appearance is only the first layer of an even more astonishing world. The African jacana has a social system that reverses almost everything we think about birds and parenting. Here, the females are larger, stronger, and dominant. They control territories that may house up to 4 or 5 males, mating with all of them and ensuring that their genes are widely passed on. This polyandrous behavior, where a female mates with multiple males, is rare among birds, making the jacana one of the most studied examples of reversed reproductive systems. And here comes the most fascinating part. The males take on all parental duties. They are responsible for building the nest, incubating the eggs, and intensive care of the chicks. The nest, far from being a simple makeshift platform, is an ingenious floating structure made of aquatic plants such as lilies, grasses, and intertwined algae. The male assembles them precisely, anchoring the base to submerged roots so that the platform is not carried away by wind or currents. If conditions change or safety is threatened, the male can reposition the nest, moving it to a more protected area, a rarity among birds. The female lays 4 to 5 eggs, each with a speckled pattern that camouflages them among the aquatic vegetation. After that, her role diminishes. She leaves to maintain the territory and seek new partners. The male, on the other hand, dedicates himself entirely to incubating the eggs for about 22 to 24 days. During this period, he barely leaves the nest, only enough to feed briefly. To protect the eggs from strong sunlight or sudden rain, he uses his wings as a living umbrella, covering the eggs with his body. When the chicks finally hatch, they are already ready to face the world. Covered with fine down, they are incredibly active. Within hours, they can walk, swim, and even dive to escape predators. This precocity is vital, as the swamps are full of dangers, from larger water birds to crocodiles and carnivorous fish. The male, ever vigilant, protects the brood with an almost heroic instinct. One of the most extraordinary sights is how the male carries the chicks. In the face of a threat, he gathers them under his wings and against his chest, hiding them among his feathers. From a distance, it seems as if he is just slowly walking over the aquatic plants, but in reality, he is carrying tiny extra pairs of legs hidden beneath him, the legs of his chicks. It's a parental care trick that surprises even the most experienced observers. This peculiar social system in which the female dominates and the males care for the chicks intrigues biologists and challenges traditional concepts of sexual selection. In the case of the jacana, females compete for access to high-quality males, while the males become selective about their partners, as their energetic investment in caring for the offspring is enormous. The result is a surprising evolutionary balance, where both sexes play different but equally crucial roles for the species' survival. Beyond its reproductive uniqueness, the African jacana has ecological importance. By building nests and constantly moving over aquatic plants, it helps maintain the balance of wetland ecosystems, dispersing seeds and creating microhabitats that serve as refuges for insects and other small organisms. In this way, the bird that appears to walk on water plays a real role in maintaining life beneath the surface. In short, the floating nest of the African jacana is much more than an architectural curiosity. It is a symbol of adaptation, ingenuity, and role reversal. It represents life's ability to find creative solutions to environmental and social challenges. Watching a male jacana care for his brood alone in the middle of a tranquil lake, we don't just see a different bird, we see a living portrait of nature's diversity, where even the rules of who protects, who dominates, and who builds can be rewritten. Number 14. The megapode's natural oven. In the humid forests of northern Australia, on the islands of New Guinea, and even on some scattered Pacific islands, there exists a bird that seems to have broken all conventional rules of reproduction. Its name may sound strange: megapode, literally meaning big foot. And indeed, its disproportionately large feet are its trademark. Many also call it the mound builder, or giant-footed turkey, as it vaguely resembles a small turkey with brown plumage and discreet behavior. But behind its simple appearance, the megapode hides one of the most ingenious and original strategies in nature. While most birds protect their eggs with body heat, keeping them under their wings during long incubation periods, the megapode takes a different path. It builds true natural ovens, giant mounds of leaves, twigs, sand, and soil that function as living incubators. The decomposition of organic matter generates heat, warming the eggs with almost surgical precision. It's as if the megapode discovered the art of biological engineering long before humans learned to control fire or build ovens. These mounds can reach 4.5 meters wide and more than 1 meter high, true artificial hills hidden in the forest. Each can weigh tons, depending on the amount of material accumulated. The architect behind this monumental structure is always the male. He dedicates weeks, sometimes months, to gathering fresh leaves, digging holes, dragging sand, and piling debris until forming a colossal heap. But the construction doesn't stop there. Once completed, the mound requires constant maintenance. Decomposition is not uniform. Sometimes it it gets too hot, sometimes too cold. This is where the male's tireless work comes in. Using his enormous feet, he digs holes, turns the material, adds new layers of leaves, or removes excess cover, always as needed. He acts like a living thermostat, regulating the heat with impressive precision. The ideal temperature for embryo development is 32 to 35 OC. Any hotter and the chicks may die, cooler and development fails. The male has no digital thermometers or sophisticated sensors. He relies solely on his beak and feet. He probes the mound with his beak, senses the heat, and decides what to do. To an observer, it's almost unbelievable that this bird can maintain such a delicate balance using only natural sensitivity. The females, on the other hand, have a simpler role. Once the mound is ready, they visit and dig tunnels to deposit their eggs in internal chambers. Each female can lay multiple eggs during the season, but she does not stay to incubate or protect the offspring. Her investment ends at laying. After that, everything depends on the male and the mound's heat. Another fascinating detail, megapode eggs are disproportionately large. Compared to the female's body size, they are among the largest in the bird world. The yolk in particular is enormous, providing abundant energy for the embryo. This is essential because, unlike most birds, megapode chicks are born fully independent. When the time comes, the chick breaks the shell with its beak and begins a solitary journey. It must dig its way through layers of sand, leaves, and soil. This process can take hours or even days, requiring considerable strength for a newborn animal. When it finally emerges on the surface, it is already feathered, with strong wings and able to fly the same day. There are no parents waiting, no lessons taught. The chick is born ready to survive, hunt insects, and avoid predators. It is one of the most incredible examples of early autonomy in the animal kingdom. This reproductive strategy has profound consequences. Megapodes do not form family bonds, feed their young, or create organized flocks like chickens or ducks. Their evolutionary investment is different. They invest energy in the nest infrastructure, ensuring that, when hatched, the chicks are already self-sufficient. Instead of care and nurturing, they provide engineering and independence. Variations among species. Not all megapodes build decomposition mounds. Some species use solar heat to incubate eggs, burying them in sandy beaches. Others take advantage of geothermal heat from active volcanoes, laying eggs in naturally warmed soils. There are reports of species nesting in open clearings, relying on soil warmth. This diversity of strategies demonstrates the incredible evolutionary plasticity of the group. Yet the basic principle remains the same, outsourcing incubation to nature, whether through sun, soil, or organic decomposition. This trait makes megapodes unique among modern birds. An ecological legacy, megapode mounds benefit not only the builders themselves. Many other species take advantage of these structures. Snakes, lizards, small mammals, and even smaller birds can use the internal heat or abandoned chambers as shelter. Thus, each mound becomes a micro-ecosystem, increasing regional biodiversity. Additionally, by constantly turning the soil and plant matter, megapodes act as natural recyclers, accelerating decomposition and enriching the forest floor. Cultural importance for Aboriginal peoples of Australia, megapodes have always held significance. Their large, nutritious eggs were, and still are, collected as food. Many traditions view the mounds as sacred landmarks, symbols of the connection between life, land, and the hidden fire beneath the soil. In some legends, megapodes are considered wise birds, guardians of ancestral secrets, precisely because of their unusual ability to manage heat. In New Guinea, some communities interpret mounds as signs of fertility and abundance. Destroying an active mound unnecessarily can be seen as disrespectful to forest spirits. Comparisons with other animal engineers' megapode behavior is often compared to beavers, which build dams and transform rivers, termites, which construct towering mounds with natural ventilation, and sociable weavers, which create massive communal nests. All these animals visibly shape their environments, but the megapode stands out because its construction serves not itself, but the next generation. It works for something it will never see, independent chicks that will never recognize it as a parent. Modern challenges. Unfortunately, megapodes face increasing threats. Excessive egg collection by humans can drastically reduce local populations. The destruction of tropical forests eliminates suitable mound building areas. Climate change directly affects their strategy. With higher ambient temperatures, mounds may overheat, preventing embryo development. Scientists warn that if average temperatures continue to rise, males will struggle to maintain thermal balance in the mounds, putting reproduction at risk. For this reason, some megapodes are already considered vulnerable or threatened in parts of their range, a metaphor for life. Observing a megapode mound in the heart of the forest is like witnessing an ancestral mystery. There lies a hill of rotting leaves, seemingly worthless, but within it, hidden from the world, life pulses. It is a reminder that survival does not follow fixed formulas. Some invest in care, some in quantity, and some, like the megapode, in the ingenuity of nature itself. The megapode's natural oven is more than a nest. It is a lesson in adaptation, patience, and persistence. It shows that even among modest and little-known creatures, survival strategies can rival human intelligence. In the end, these mounds are not just heaps of leaves and soil, they are living monuments to the creativity of evolution. Number 13, the skyscrapers of monk parakeets. While most parrots prefer tree cavities, the monk parakeet, also called the Quaker parrot, builds true suspended cities made of dry branches. These communal nests can weigh over 200 kilos and house up to 20 pairs, each with its own apartment. What's most fascinating is that all individuals collaborate in maintaining and expanding the structure, which can be built in trees, power poles, and even communication antennas. In addition to protecting chicks from predators such as eagles and snakes, these colonies strengthen social bonds among individuals. Native to South America, the monk parakeet has conquered cities worldwide, adapting perfectly to urban life. Number 12, the little genius, the penduline tit. Amid the African savannas, along wooded riverbanks, and even in gardens blending nature and human presence, lives one of the continent's most astonishing birds, the penduline tit, Anthoscopus minutus. Measuring only 8 to 9 centimeters in length and weighing just over 8 grams, lighter than a large coin, it may seem fragile, almost insignificant, yet this tiny body houses one of nature's greatest talents. At first glance, the penduline tit could go unnoticed among sparrows and other common small birds. Its rounded body with discrete gray, beige, and light brown plumage is perfectly adapted to blend in among leaves and branches. Its small, lively eyes reveal relentless energy, and its short, sharp beak betrays its habit of collecting tiny insects, spiders, and larvae hidden beneath tree bark. But it is in the realm of natural architecture that this little being transforms into a true master engineer. The hanging masterpiece. The penduline tit's nest is, without exaggeration, a work of art. From a distance, it looks like a spherical fruit or an exotic capsule swaying gently in the wind. Up close, it reveals a delicate and complex sanctuary, built with precision that would astonish even human engineers. With infinite patience, this tiny bird gathers plant fibers, wool fibers, down, animal hairs, pieces of dry grass, and, most importantly, spider silk. These nearly invisible threads serve as natural glue, providing flexibility and strength to the structure. Every material is carefully selected, and the bird makes countless daily trips to collect the necessary elements. The result is a sphere or elongated drop firmly attached to the tip of a thin branch, usually suspended over water or in a position difficult for predators to access. This is no coincidence. The location is strategically chosen to deter snakes, lizards, and even arboreal mammals. A strategist engineer. The penduline tit's brilliance lies not only in its materials or nest shape, but in its security system. Each nest has 2 entrances. The false entrance, highly visible, draws the attention of any intruder. Passing through it, the predator finds an empty chamber, a dead end, an architectural trap designed to deceive. The true entrance is ingeniously camouflaged under loose plant fibers, so well hidden that even human observers often struggle to find it. Additionally, this opening is sealed by the bird each time it enters or exits, as if closing the door behind it. This trick confuses snakes, lizards, and even larger birds that might eat the eggs or chicks. When the predator encounters the false entrance, it loses time, giving the offspring a chance to survive. It's a strategy worthy of a military architect. The construction process building a single nest can take 2 to 3 weeks, depending on material availability. First, the bird chooses the perfect branch, thin enough to sway in the wind and deter climbers, yet strong enough to support the nest. Then it collects the lightest fibers, which will form the nest skeleton. As the sphere takes shape, the bird reinforces the walls with additional layers of flexible materials. Spider silk acts as natural glue, binding fibers and making the structure surprisingly sturdy. Finally, it creates the false entrance and skillfully hides the true one. Some nests are so elaborately constructed that they resemble miniature sleeping bags or fuzzy purses, suspended like exotic fruits in the savannah. A master of deception and beauty. It's impossible not to be impressed by the intelligence displayed in this process. The penduline tit does more than build. It deceives, anticipates, and plans. Its nests are examples of defensive engineering, where every detail exists to increase the survival chances of the chicks. And don't think these nests are fragile. Despite the lightness of the materials, the structure is remarkably durable, capable of withstanding strong winds and heavy rains. In some cases, abandoned nests remain on branches for months, like tiny relics suspended in time. Number 11, the tiny mud architect. Measuring just 14 centimeters in length, this small bird demonstrates how to turn mud into architecture. It constructs bottle-shaped nests attached to vertical surfaces such as cliffs, overpasses, or even urban buildings. Each nest takes about 1,000 mud pellets, patiently collected by the pair. The narrow entrance and curved tunnel protect the chicks from wind, sun, and predators. But the most impressive aspect is the scale. These birds never build alone. They can form giant colonies with thousands of nests side by side, creating living walls of suspended mud. In this airborne community, cooperation is law. They share information about food and repel intruders through group effort, inhabiting the humid forests of western Papua. Number 10, the brown bird turned interior designer. This seemingly discreet brown bird transforms into a designer of interiors during mating season. The male constructs cabin or cone-shaped structures up to 1.5 meters wide and 1 millimeter high. However, these nests are not for incubating eggs. They are stages for courtship. Inside, the bird arranges flowers, fruits, dead insects, and even shiny human objects like bottle caps or glass fragments. Each detail follows rules of symmetry, color, and shine. A true jungle art installation. Females inspect the arrangements as if judging a beauty contest. If approved, mating occurs. Otherwise, the male must start over. Competition is fierce, and some males even steal decorations from neighbors. This is perhaps the most famous avian architect in South America, especially in Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay. Number 9, the Rufous Hornero. The Rufous Hornero builds nests reminiscent of traditional clay ovens. Using clay, grass, plant fibers, and even animal hairs, the pair molds a rounded structure up to 30 centimeters in diameter and 5 kilos in weight. Inside, a curved corridor leads to a protected chamber safe from rain and predators. The most surprising aspect is durability. Some nests withstand storms and winds for years, and are reused not only by the Rufous Hornero, but also by owls and even lizards. Construction can take days or months, depending on conditions, and if the couple dislikes the result. Number 8, the colorful bee eater. As vibrant as a living jewel, the bee eater is a master digger. It excavates tunnels up to 3 meters long in sandy banks near rivers and lakes. At the end, it creates a chamber where the female lays 4 to 7 eggs. Incredible communal behavior emerges. Dozens or even hundreds of pairs can dig side by side, forming entire underground cities. Both parents incubate the eggs for about 20 days and feed the chicks until they are ready to fly. Besides being soil engineers, they are precise aerial hunters, catching bees, wasps, and dragonflies mid-air. Before eating, they beat the insect on a branch to remove stingers. Despite the name bee eater, their impact on pollinators is minimal. In fact, they help maintain ecological balance by controlling insect populations. Number 7, the tireless weaver, the masked weaver. This small African bird is considered the Leonardo da Vinci of nests. The male, with bright yellow plumage and a black mask, spends days weaving grass fibers, palm leaves, and reeds into a perfect sphere suspended over water. If the female approves, she lines the interior with soft materials and lays her eggs. If she disapproves, the male destroys the nest and starts over. Some males build more than 20 nests per season, like artists exhibiting creations in search of recognition. And yes, even among weavers, unfair competition exists. Some steal fibers from neighbors to speed up construction. Number 6, the coveted swiftlet nest. From the depths of caves in Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia comes one of the most curious and valuable constructions in the animal kingdom, the swiftlet's nest. This dark-feathered, agile flying bird uses no twigs or mud. Instead, it builds its nest solely from its own saliva, secreted by special glands under its tongue. Exposed to air, the gelatinous substance hardens, forming a small white bowl firmly attached to cave walls. The process takes about 35 days and can be repeated multiple times times in a season. These nests, known as edible birds' nests, are highly prized in Chinese cuisine. The most famous dish, the legendary bird's nest soup, is considered a youth elixir, capable of boosting the immune system and even prolonging life. Number 5. The majestic bald eagle nest, national symbol of the United States. The bald eagle impresses not only with its wingspan, which can exceed 2.3 meters, but also as an extraordinary architect of the skies. These birds mate for life, returning year after year to the same location to expand and reinforce their home. Their nests, called eyries, are colossal constructions made of thick branches reinforced internally with moss, grass, and feathers. Strategically built atop tall trees, always near rivers, lakes, or coastal areas, they ensure direct access to their main food source, fish. Over time, these nests reach astonishing dimensions, up to 4 meters deep, 2.5 meters wide, and weighing more than 1 ton. The largest recorded nest exceeded 6 meters in height, almost a natural skyscraper. During breeding, the female lays 1 to 3 eggs, incubated by both parents for about 35 days. Number 4. The pink colonies of flamingos. At first glance, flamingos seem to have stepped straight out of an artist's imagination, with their long, slender legs, pink feathers, and serpentine necks. During the breeding season, hundreds gather into massive colonies and perform a synchronized dance. They stretch their necks, turn their heads, flap their wings, and march in unison, as if rehearsing a natural musical. After the courtship, nest building begins. These are true clay cones, up to 30 centimeters high, shaped with mud, small stones, feathers, and vegetation. At the top is a small cavity where a single egg is laid. Incubation lasts about 27 to 31 days and is done by both parents. When the chick hatches, it doesn't feed on insects or seeds, but on a nutrient-rich secretion called crop milk, produced by both parents, full of fats and proteins. Number 3. The fortress nest of the cactus wren. In the arid deserts of the southwestern United States and Mexico, this small architectural genius found a brilliant survival trick, building nests among cactus spines, such as those of the cholla or saguaro, turning them into natural alarm systems against predators. Nests, 18 to 30 centimeters long, are oval-shaped with a side entrance. Made of twigs and plant fibers, they are carefully lined with feathers to retain heat during cold desert nights. A narrow tunnel leads to the main chamber where the eggs remain protected, but the strategy doesn't end there. The cactus wren builds several nests within its territory. Throughout this journey, we've seen that each nest is not just a structure to shelter eggs. It's a testament to the boundless creativity pulsating in nature. From tireless weavers transforming grass into suspended works of art, to birds using mud, saliva, or even the earth's heat to incubate their young, every example reveals natural intelligence that leaves us in awe. It's impossible to witness such diversity without feeling the presence of a greater hand guiding these details, a creator who has scattered signs of perfection across every corner of the planet. These nests are simultaneously survival fortresses and living sculptures, proof that life always finds beautiful and ingenious ways to flourish. Just as at the beginning, we are reminded that all these wonders are not accidents. They are divine gifts, miracles that God has scattered across the world to show us that beauty can emerge from mud, wind, water, and even the cooperation of small birds. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed our content, subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Also, check out other interesting videos appearing on your screen right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.